Hey everyone, Rich Gasaway here with a big announcement. I'm looking for a department to partner with to host a situational awareness event on September 26th, National Situational Awareness Day. Yes, it really exists. I want this to be my biggest event ever and would like to have 500 students in the room for this one-day program. For the department that partners with me, I'll do some nice incentives, including allowing all of your members to attend for free. If you're interested in being my partner on this, go to SA Matters website, click on the Contact Us link. Don't delay though. I've already put out the announcement on my social media and I've had 6 departments express interest already, which is awesome. Maybe we'll make this a National Situational Awareness Week celebration. Okay, I want to remind you about the SA Matters Online Academy, too. The Academy is fully operational and accepting student enrollments now. This is really, really exciting for me. We've had over 600 students enroll in the Academy, and I've already had over a dozen graduates. There are 2 levels of Academy enrollment, basic and premium. The premium enrolled students get direct access to me and guests that I have on webinars each month. And the premium enrolled students got a real treat last week when I had on the webinar as my guest Dave Dotson, the founder of the Art of Reading Smoke program, and Dave shared some outstanding tips for how to incorporate smoke reading into your size up, and he made the connection between reading smoke and situational awareness. Thank you, Dave, for the gift of your time last week, and thank you to all the premium enrolled students who attended. There were over 100 of you on the webinar. I enjoyed the opportunity to have some live discussions with you and to answer your questions as well. If you're interested in learning more about the SA Matters Online Academy, visit samatters.com and click on the green button, the green one, on the right side of the homepage labeled Online Academy. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
This is Fire Chief Scott Burnett of the Asheville Fire Department, and you are listening to the SA Matters radio show with Dr. Rich Gasaway. The SA Matters mission is simple. They want to help us see the bad things coming and time to avoid bad outcomes.
Hello and welcome to episode 151 of the Situational Awareness Matters radio show. I'm your host, Rich Gasaway. The purpose of this show is to improve situational awareness and decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-risk, high-consequence environments. The SA Matters mission is simple, to help you see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes. I mentioned in a previous episode we were closing in on the 200,000th download of this podcast show. This show, SA Matters Radio, is now the single longest consecutive running first responder focused podcast show on the internet. Oh my God, how cool is that? In the month of February alone, the show had 20,000 downloads. In a single month, 20,000. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. If you haven't subscribed to this show yet, go to iTunes or Stitcher Radio and search for SA Matters Radio. There's also a link to the podcast on the homepage of the SA Matters website. If you have already subscribed to the show, go over to iTunes or Stitcher and give it a rating, hopefully 5 stars, and write a review. This would really help me out, and it would help others to find the show. Recently, I was teaching a class, and someone came up to me and told me he liked the show and never misses an episode. I thanked him, and then I asked him if he's ever gone to iTunes and given the show a review. No, was his response. So I asked him if he would do me a favor and give the show a review. He did. And here's what he said. This is a great and informative podcast. I have been to 3 of Dr. Gasaway's lectures, and I've had a great time at all of them. When I found out he had a podcast, I couldn't wait to listen. The line of duty death and near-miss interviews are incredibly powerful and moving. The discussions on various aspects of brain function and high-stress effects are excellent. All of this information is very inspirational and has made both myself and my fire department better for having been exposed to it. Thank you, Dr. Gasaway, for all your time and effort sharing your information with us. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Rick, for writing that review on iTunes. I really, really appreciate it. Hey, I'm looking for some additional sponsors for the show. Now that we're the longest consecutive running first responder focused podcast show on the internet with more than 200,000 downloads, there should be a company out there somewhere that wants to get their message into the ears of this show's listeners. If that's you, or if you know of a company who's looking to expand their reach and exposure to their message, ask them to contact me through the SA Matters website Contact Us link. And while I'm on the topic of sponsors, I have to give a little love, or should I say a lot of love, to our first podcast sponsor, Midwest Fire, who has been, by the way, the sponsor of this show almost from the very beginning. Nearly 3 years now. It must be working for him, wouldn't you think? I guess it is. Thanks, Midwest Fire, for investing in my message and for the absolutely amazing fire apparatus that you build to serve and protect my listeners. All right, if you can think of an additional potential sponsor with a product or service that would be valued by first responders, ask them to contact me. We're closing in on another incredible milestone, too. I'm so excited, I'm almost shaking. In just 5 more episodes, we will be at episode 156, and that marks the 3-year anniversary of this podcast show. I have released a new episode every Tuesday without fail, and I mean every Tuesday for 3 consecutive years. There's no other first responder focused podcaster who can even come close to that. And I do this for you, the listener. Without you, I'd have no show. Thank you. I've been sharing the message of situational awareness and high-risk decision-making for 12 years now. Yep, I'm here for the long run, and for so long as I'm able, I'll continue to share this message. A message of hope, a message of inspiration, and a message of encouragement for all first responders who want to make sure they're able to develop and maintain strong situational awareness and make high-quality decisions under stress. This show is for you and dedicated to helping improve your safety and your survival, and to accomplish goal number 1. Always, goal number 1. Go home to the ones who love you. And truthfully, there's nothing I'd rather be doing. And speaking of sharing the message, I'm coming to you today from Mountain Iron, Minnesota, where I'm in town to deliver a 2-day leadership development program I call the Courage to Lead for departments throughout the region. If you've heard me talk about the week-long Company Officer Development Institute in previous episodes, this is the mini version of the week-long class. We focus on best practices for leadership and how to be courageous leaders and courageous followers, and how to hold members who are misbehaving accountable. That takes courage, and we show you how to do that. If you're interested in hosting a Situational Awareness Matters tour stop program in 2017 for your department or your association or your region or your state or your company or industry, just contact me through the samatters.com website and we'll get something set up for you. It's not a hard process, I promise. But don't wait. I've already got 64 programs booked or proposed for 2017, so my availability is starting to thin out. Oh, I just got confirmed for a booking for a program for the Amsterdam Fire Brigade in the Netherlands. So that'll take me out of play for a couple of weeks just for that trip. And I'm also under consideration for a program in Australia, and if that comes through, I'll be gone for another couple weeks for that. Thankfully, I have two awesome master instructors trained to assist with the situation awareness message. If you want to get something scheduled, swing by the SA Matters website and click on the Contact Us tab. Oh, and I should mention, if you want to save some money on hosting a program, and who doesn't want to save some money, right? Here's a tip for how you can host a program at a reduced cost. I schedule many what I call companion programs. These are programs on adjoining days to other programs. So if you see I'm delivering a program within a couple hours of your department and you think you might want to tag along as a companion, contact me. You can save as much as 20% off the program cost by being a companion to an existing program. I do about 30 of those a year, and no one ever complains about saving money on a companion program. That's truly what I call a win-win. In today's feature segment, I'll be talking about another dangerous mindset. Last week we took on the first dangerous mindset, the mindset of the starter, the brand new member. This week we're going to talk about the mindset of the subordinate. And stick around when the feature segment's done. I will tell you where you can attend an upcoming Situation Awareness Matters tour stop event. Who knows, maybe there's going to be one in your state or county soon, and we'll get a chance to meet up. All right, let's jump into our feature segment on dangerous mindset of the subordinate. The subordinate. Being a subordinate is an inherently essential skill for first responders. Borrowing a line from the movie A Few Good Men, we follow orders or people die. This is true. However, consistent with the outcome of the movie, sometimes because we follow orders, people die. An example of this would be when a decision maker has flawed situational awareness but does not know it. This segment addresses the dangerous outcomes that can arise from being a loyal follower. Dangerous mindsets. The potential dangerous mindsets that I'm covering in this series include the starter, or the new member, the subordinate, or the loyal follower, the specialist, or the expert or know-it-all, the superior, aka the boss, the stubborn, also known as the defiant, the silent, also known as the shy one, the superman or superwoman, also known as the unstoppable, the slacker, also known as the complacent, and the synergist, also known as the like-minded. This episode addresses the subordinate. So I do not get off on the wrong foot with the listeners. This episode is not a damnation of formal authority. I have always been a strong supporter of the chain of command and the essential need for subordinates to follow the direct orders of superior officers. Nowhere is this concept more critical than on an emergency scene. If someone does not follow orders, people can die. There is no place for blatant insubordination. Good leaders, bad decisions. It is possible for a good leader to make a bad decision, right? Whenever you're in a formal leadership position, or not, I hope your answer is to that question is a resounding yes. Good leaders can make bad decisions. To think otherwise is to believe a leader, yourself or someone else, is a flawless decision maker. This simply is not a realistic expectation. In no environment is individual decision quality at greater risk of error than an environment that is high risk, high consequence, and high stress like an emergency scene. Regardless of the level of training or experience, all humans are subject to error. Loyal to the death. Some would say that to be subordinate is to be loyal. In fact, loyalty is a subordinate quality coveted by many leaders. Loyalty can be acquired a variety of ways, including by building trust or by instilling fear. The loyal subordinate who follows out of trust may not question the decision of the leader because there is a level of trust that inhibits the follower from questioning the decision of the leader. A subordinate may also avoid calling into question the decision of a superior that they fear. If the fear of retribution from a leader exceeds the fear of the consequences of performing the order may be obeyed even if the consequences to the subordinate are catastrophic. This form of learned helplessness arises from a fear that can prevent a subordinate from making any statement in opposition to the leader's wishes, on or off the emergency scene. Here's a clue. If it is happening off the emergency scene, then it is almost guaranteed to happen on the emergency scene. The good subordinate. A good subordinate does not follow blindly. Rather, he or she sees their role as one who collaborates and, when appropriate and in appropriate measure, challenges the decision of a superior. In my Flawed Situational Awareness Stealth Killer of First Responders course, we discuss the vulnerabilities all of us possess as humans, especially under stress. I demonstrate through a series of classroom experiments that we are all susceptible to flawed performance. These demonstrations are often described as a wake-up call by incident commanders and company officers in the program, and also dials in the subordinates into the fact that their bosses are not superhuman, flawless beings. The badge tapper. I was recently introduced to the term by a student in one of my leadership classes, and I'd like to share what a badge tapper is and how he or she can impact the safety of a team. A badge tapper is a supervisor who, when questioned, taps their officer badge with their index finger while proclaiming to the subordinate who it is that is giving the orders and that the officer outranks him or her. Some might describe this as the superior having a superiority complex. This mentality may lead to a subordinate saying nothing, even in the throes of the supervisor making a grave error in judgment at an emergency scene. Only after the bad outcome has occurred will the critics voice their concern. But by then, however, it may be too late. Bosses yearn to have subordinate employees, and most employees strive to be faithful followers. However, supervisors with healthy self-esteems and egos that are in check will be the first to genuinely admit their decision-making is vulnerable, and they want to be told when they make a mistake or are in the process of making a mistake, or if they are putting their subordinates in harm's way. Likewise, subordinates have an obligation for their safety and the safety of other providers operating at emergency scenes to speak up when supervisors' decisions are flawed and the well-being of the responders are in jeopardy. It would be good to have a conversation with a supervisor in advance of these circumstances giving rise to from flawed situational awareness and subsequently flawed decisions at emergency scenes. In advance of a call is a time to work out with the supervisor how they would want to be told if his or her situational awareness seemed flawed and that their decisions seemed in error. It is important to keep this in mind because flawed situational awareness can be disguised in the mind of the supervisor. Okay, as I always do, I want to take a moment to thank the departments and organizations that have hosted some great training for their members on situational awareness. I do this to show my appreciation to those organizations that put forth the effort to organize, advertise, and fund great training experiences for their members and others in their region. Recent tour stops included the Portsmouth Naval Yard in New Hampshire, the Clovis Fire Department in California, the Lynchburg Fire Department in Virginia, and where I am now, completing a 2-day leadership program called The Courage to Lead in Mountain Iron, Minnesota. By the time this episode airs, I will have also completed another 2-day Courage to Lead program in Lutsen, Minnesota. On March 14th, I'll be at the Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute's National Fire Service Staff and Command Program in Towson, Maryland. This is my 15th consecutive year teaching at the Staff and Command Program for MIFRE. So thank you, MIFRE, for that. On March 16th, I will be in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. March 18th, Cranberry, Pennsylvania. March 28th, Blue Springs, Missouri. March 30 and 31, Lancaster, Texas. April 1 and 2, Richland, Washington. April 7th, Medford, Oregon. April 15th, New Richmond, Wisconsin. April 20, Penticton, British Columbia. April 22nd, Creston, British Columbia. April 24th, Michigan City, Indiana. April 25th, Indianapolis, Indiana. And May 2, the Fire Department of New York, FDNY, Incident Management Team Training. If you want to see the locations of all the upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop events, head over to the SA Matters website and click on the blue box on the right side of the homepage labeled Upcoming Events Schedule. The schedule is always changing, so check back often. The last time I did a program in southwest Minnesota, I stopped by and visited the sponsor of this podcast show, Midwest Fire. Midwest Fire makes amazing all-poly fire apparatus, and it's changing the industry. It really is. You seriously need to check them out at MidwestFire.com. Anyhow, I got a chance to sit down and talk to a few of their employees about what separates Midwest Fire from their competitors. Let's listen in to learn what happens after the sale and the process of building a Midwest fire engine. All right, I've heard about the No Dealer Network. I've heard about how to get in contact with Midwest Fire. I've heard about the process of speccing a truck, and that's all good. What happens after the sale?
Currently, after the sale, everything gets turned over to myself as project manager. I will then lead you through the build process. If you call in, have questions on your truck, want to make changes to your truck, want updates on your truck, that will all filter through me then rather than the salesman at that time. We take pride in everything we do here. You've heard that many times. But what we want to focus on is making this the best experience we can for the fire department. It's not always easy to get a hold of your salesman, whether he's traveling or on the road or at shows where I'm in-house full-time. Have 100% control with the project manager as well as manufacturing manager of your truck going through the process.
So somebody calls you and they have a question or they're saying, can we make this change or whatever? You literally just walk down the hall, out the door, and you're on the manufacturing floor talking with engineering or with the people who are actually building their truck, and you can do kind of real-time problem solving or adjusting on the specification?
Yep. What we do then, if there is changes to the truck, obviously there'd be a change order involved, but the response time is a lot quicker. Most of the departments we work with have a meeting once a month, the volunteer fire departments. So if they call in, have a meeting the next night, we're able to get an answer to them, a response to them right away, so we're not holding up the project while it's in production.
Super. Well, there you have it, folks. That's what differentiates Midwest Fire from their competitors. So check them out at MidwestFire.com. Thank you, Midwest Fire President Sarah Atchison, and all your staff for your awesome commitment to improving first responder safety. I sincerely appreciate your support of my mission. If you want to send me feedback, I'd love to hear from you. Just go over to the SA Matters website and click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page and shoot me a message. If you're not a member of the SA Matters community of learners yet, consider joining. There are over 5,000 members connected here on SA Matters, sharing ideas about how to improve situational awareness, how to make better decisions under stress, and how to train members to be critical thinkers and resilient problem solvers. Membership is free, free. free. And when you sign up, I'll send you a special report I've created for new members called 25 Best Practices for Improving First Responder Safety. Joining also gets you my monthly email newsletter that contains features from the blog and the podcast. It's the best way for us to stay in touch with each other. It really is. If you're not a member yet, head over to the SA Matters website and click on the red box on the right side of the homepage labeled Free Membership. The red box on the right side that says Free Membership. If you want to get connected with me on Twitter, you can follow at Rich Gasaway on Twitter. On LinkedIn, you can search for Rich Gasaway. On YouTube, you can watch my videos on SA Matters TV on YouTube. And on Facebook, you can like the SA Matters page. You might be wondering why I have so many platforms: the blog, the podcast, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, the online academy, live events, books, videos. Because I know not every first responder consumes their content the same way on the same platform, and I want to try to reach as many first responders on the platform that they prefer most. Well, that's it. Episode 151 is complete. Thank you to our awesome podcast sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to all of our live event hosts. Thank you to our more than 600 Online Academy students. If you want to learn more about the Online Academy, samatters.com, the green box on the right side of the homepage labeled Online Academy. And thank you, our listeners, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I sincerely appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gasaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit samatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gasaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgasaway.com.